want? What you want? Come on. What you want?
Spider-Man Legends. Now, a lot of you might be going, why the entire wave of Spider-Man Legends? I don't like the Electro, I don't like this, that, or the other. Doesn't really matter. I personally think that this wave of Legends right here is one of the best waves as a complete, set of Legends. I mean, I like every figure. And I heard a few bad things about a couple of the figures, but the figures, for the most part, have great articulation. The sculpts, even though some of the figures use a base body that we've already seen, the sculpts are nice. The paint apps, I think the only one I really have a complaint on is I don't like the light blue they put on the Electro. I think it's a tad bit too much. And the silver paint on the Ultimate Beetle has a few flaws, and the Superior Spider-Man, the lines on the face are they're pretty bad. But besides that, the Build-A-Figure is great. Our new Black Cat, it's an awesome Black Cat. They have both of the Spider-Man figures have interchangeable hands, great range of motion as far as articulation goes. I mean, the Carnage has removable tendrils on the back. Even his sculpt and everything else is very nice. I think, this is just a great wave of figures. And I don't get impressed by Marvel Legends too much, but this wave of figures right here was a must-have for me. I liked it the best out of any of the other waves that we've gotten this year. Excellent as far as I'm concerned. So this made my cut for one of the best figures of 2013. I'm not saying that it's last. I'm not saying that it's first. I'm just saying that it definitely holds a spot in my best of list. Marvel Legends AIM Soldiers. These figures were a home run. From the articulation, the sculpt, I mean, everything about these figures were just a win. You cannot lose with these figures. They came out as part of the Captain America Winter Soldier movie line. Just hit recently in the recent months. And I mean, awesome. The sculpting, the detail, everything about these figures are awesome. They have not disappointed me at all. So, needless to say, any figure that's the first time in the line, that is a home run as far as articulation and sculpt, and most of the paint apps, it has to go down as one of the best of the year. So, AIM Soldiers fit right into my best of 2013 list. Marvel Legends Hydra Soldiers. Now, these figures came out as part of the Captain America Winter Soldier movie line, and I must say they are a big improvement over the previous Hydra Soldiers that Hasbro has released. Even though the previous figures were of a more classic look, these figures here, modern AIM Soldiers, obviously, knock it out of the park. These were a home run. Paint apps, articulation, I mean, everything. They came together very nicely. Granted, they are made from a body mold that has been frequently used by Hasbro, but it doesn't matter. They add so much flair to the body mold. It's hard for you to even tell or even care that that the figures are made from this body mold. I don't get tired of seeing it. Well, I haven't yet. And I love what they've done. So when a figure is produced or reproduced and made better, when the paint apps and the articulation are, in sync, and the sculpt works for the figure, I like it. And needless to say, it's one of my favorite figures of 2013, so it made my list. Marvel Legends, Captain America, Winter Soldier movie line, Baron Zemo. Now, obviously, it's a comic figure, but this version of Baron Zemo has been anticipated by so many people. We've never had this figure, obviously, and being the first time Hasbro's tried it, they did a phenomenal job. The paint apps, in my opinion, are nice. They could have been a bit better, but I mean, that's just my copy of the figure. But for the most part, the figure turned out excellent. I have very minor gripes. I'm not going to review the figures sitting here. They're minor gripes. Overall, not enough for it to miss my best of 2013 list. I love it dearly. I wouldn't give it up for anything. And if you don't have it, I suggest, if you collect Marvel Legends, for you to go out and pick it up. You won't be disappointed. At least I don't believe you will. I just wanted to add that the holster on the back there where his gun is, I added that myself. So if you guys go out and buy the figure, that will not be there. So I don't want you guys getting disappointed when you're looking for it and it's not there. So, Hot Toys, G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes. This figure made my list for a few reasons. One, Snake Eyes is one of my favorite characters, but that alone didn't get him into my best of 2013 list. What got him there is the fact that the actual figure is just phenomenal. The sculpt of the figure, the way that the actual clothing just fits to the body mold and everything. I mean, he's just an awesome figure. The amount of accessories he comes with or whatever, it's just an awesome figure. They didn't goof on this one at all. So, in my opinion, this figure is worthy enough to fit right into my best of list, and I am not disappointed putting him there. So, G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes is one of the best figures of 2013. Mattel's 1966 Batman TV show line. These figures made it into my best of 2013 list based on nostalgic value and how well the figures were actually done. The character likeness is very good, especially dealing with a Mattel property. Some of their live action property figures, they're hit or miss, but these right here, definitely a hit. On top of everything else, they actually made an in-scale vehicle for the figures. I think that was great. I think the fact that they were roughly between 5.5, 6 inches or so, adding to the fact that you have a vehicle and a good roster of villains, you have a feeling of kind of like completion. It's not quite there, but you get that feeling like, okay, this line really went somewhere. And like I said, they weren't bad. I mean, they looked like the characters. I mean, it was just an awesome line for me. So they made my best of 2013 list, and I wouldn't have it any other way. G.I. Joe Retaliation, Ultimate Snake Eyes, and Ultimate Storm Shadow. Now, these figures made my best of 2013 list because these are awesome figures. Snake Eyes, in my opinion, is one of the best interpretations of the '80s cartoon version of the Ninja Snake Eyes that we've gotten. I like the Snake Eyes a lot. The paint apps on the figures are great. He comes with timber, decent amount of weapons. I like the figure a lot. Storm Shadow, one of the best interpretations of the classic Storm Shadow that we've gotten, period. Now there are other good figures of both of these characters, but these two figures were the best two G.I. Joes, in my opinion, to come out of 2013. That's just how I feel. I mean, there was a lot of great Joes that came out in 2013, but these two here, they stood out for me. I was very excited to get them both. So excited that I bought two of each. So, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, they both make my 2013 list. PlayArts Kai DC variant figures. Now, these figures were produced by a Japanese company, Square Enix, under a line of figures called PlayArts Kai. These are not true-to-life interpretations of the DC characters that they're portrayed on, or based on, rather. They're, I don't know, maybe Square Enix's own take of the figures, or the way that they want them to be designed or whatever, but at any point they got the go-ahead to do so, and this is what they came up with. And I must say that I like these figures a lot. The articulation in PlayArts Kai figures are awesome. The paint apps, sometimes they're hit or miss, but these three in particular, they were awesome. I had no problems with these figures at all. So they made it into my best of 2013 list with ease. No problem at all. I just want to note that these figures are about 10 inches tall, but scale means nothing to me when it comes down to collecting things that I like, and I definitely like these figures. So PlayArts Kai DC variant figures made it into my best of 2013. Hot Toys DX 2.0 Joker. I love Heath Ledger as the Joker. He was my favorite Joker out of the movies or TV show. I mean, other people's opinions don't count to me as far as that go. I loved him as a Joker. This figure, it captured the likeness. I like the, just the accessories, everything. It was an awesome figure. It was a very, very, very good investment. I love the figure. I love the Joker. I love Heath Ledger as the Joker. Dark Knight was one of my favorite movies, so it was a given. A lot of people are turned off by the price point of Hot Toys figures. I mean, some of them aren't worth it, but when it comes down to your favorite character, I believe that everyone should own a Hot Toys version of one of your favorite characters. This figure did not disappoint me in the least, and for those reasons, this figure made it into my best of 2013 list. Blitzway Carlito from Carlito's Way. Here's a 12-inch figure that was definitely worth getting, and I definitely had to put it into my best of 2013 list because, one, I like Al Pacino. Two, I think that Carlito is the best gangster movie ever. I mean, that's me. I know a lot of people like Goodfellas and, other movies, Scarface or whatever, but I like Carlito. Carlito had a lot of swag to himself. He was a real cool dude. Like, I like this character a lot. So when they announced this figure, I was, needless to say, very, very excited. As soon as they dropped it, I bought it. And here he is today, Carlito. The likeness is great. I mean, he's awesome. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Mayfix, the Amazing Spider-Man movie figure. Now, this figure made it into my list for a few different reasons. One, the articulation on this figure is just, I don't know, it's just off the Richter. Like, seriously. You can get this figure into any Spider-Man pose you probably can think of. Not to mention the accessories that it comes with, the various hands, the swinging web, the web shooting effects. I mean, it was just a nice figure. It is a import figure, so it, you know, it was a little more pricey than our domestic figures, but it was well worth it. This is hands down the best Spider-Man figure that I probably own. So, I mean, I like too much about the figure not to put it into my best of 2013 list. Star Wars Black Series Darth Maul figure. Reason for this figure being into my, or being one of my best of 2013 figures is because, one, I love Darth Maul as a character. He's an awesome character, really sinister looking. Two, these figures have tons of articulation. The sculpts are great. You know, I mean, they come with the accessories, the appropriate accessories. I mean, the packaging is nice. I won't even lie. That's why you see this one here still in this box. I've removed it several times, and I could take it out and take a, you know, make a video of it outside of the package, but you know why? I put them back in the box and basically house them like they're books, like on a shelf. They're very nice. I love the packaging. I love the figures. So for those reasons, Darth Maul is one of the best of 2013. Marvel Select the Wolverine figure. I don't have to tell you guys that it's a likeness to Hugh Jackman, but one of the reasons this figure in particular made it into my 2013 best of list is because, one, it has 3 heads, 2, 6 hands, and to top it all off, multiple points of articulation. One of the best articulated figures from Marvel Select, hands down. The sculpt is awesome. I wasn't disappointed with this figure at all. I was actually like really happy once I bought the figure, more happy than I was when I seen it. And there's really nothing more for me to say, but this figure deserves a place in my best of 2013 list just for those facts alone. I would like to also add that the dog tags were added by myself. They don't come with the figure, so if you guys haven't gotten the figure, or if you have it, I don't want you guys thinking that, you know, they fell off somewhere or they weren't in the package or anything. You know, I take responsibility on that. Those were added by me, so that's 2013. Okay, Funko horror minifigures. These fit into my best of 2013 because they're fun little figures that, you know, of my favorite horror movies or favorite horror movie characters. I like these a lot. They are not articulated, but they're still little figures. You know, they're just cool. You know, some things are just like too cool to not, you know, acknowledge. And these are one of my favorite figures I bought this year. So, like I said, best of 2013, and they made it. DC Collectibles Arkham Origins Batman figure. This figure here is hands down one of my favorite figures of not only 2013 but probably all time. I love this figure. He's my default Batman for any of my display purposes as far as Batman being displayed by himself. The figure is loaded with articulation, especially for a DC Collectibles figure. I mean, he's a solid figure. The paint apps are great. It was just a phenomenal figure. The game was phenomenal in my opinion, but like the figure is just really out there. As everyone knows that knows me, Batman is one of my favorite. Batman is my favorite character. Not one of them. he's hands down my favorite character. I am oblivious to any comments, anything negative about Batman. I just don't want to hear it. I don't care. I mean, it's your opinion, so you can have what you want, but I don't care. Don't bring them to me. So, but this figure here, I mean, he easily fit into my best of 2013 list. So yeah, that's pretty much my best of 2013 list. You know, those are the figures that I personally liked this year. I bought tons of other figures, you know, but the ones shown were the ones that really, you know, stood out in my opinion. It's my personal list. You know, if you guys don't like it, I mean, I completely understand. I mean, you have your own preferences, but you know, don't hate. I don't need you bashing my list because you don't like it. I mean, it makes no sense to do so, right? I'd also like to mention that understand when I say best of, that it doesn't mean they're the best figures hands down. It's just the best figures from this year that I can utilize in the best ways. I'm an ACBA artist, so a lot of things really count. You know, if I can do ACBA with it, that's what really counts for me liking the figure. And a lot of the figures that I liked, you know, I like the characters. Like I said, I like the articulation, the paint apps, and I can do some pretty good ACBA with them, so they made my list. There are other figures that I really, really like that just did not measure up to the figures that I named, but they are still good figures, great figures actually. So because I left something out doesn't mean that the rest of the figures are bad. I don't want comments, oh yeah, you put that on your list. Yes, I put that on my list. That's what I put on my list. You don't like it, tough, you know, kick rocks. Go somewhere else, someone make, or better yet, make your own list, you know. So with that being said, this is Pharaoh Black, and as always, peace and love.